Good morning. After all this time and all these videos I've been putting on, I just realised that I've never actually properly introduced myself. People, kindly watching my videos, and they don't really know anything about me. I mean, I haven't got much of a bio on here. So today I thought I'd just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to slightly change the channel. I'm going to start putting art on, I think, because I can't keep up the charity hauls, because it's just getting too expensive. You know, the charity shops that I frequent, you know, you might as well go to Sainsbury's or Primark and just buy stuff new, really, because it's just cheap. So anyway, I will tell you something about me today, a little bit of a history, and then you know whose channel you're watching. Thank you so much to all the new subscribers. I've actually had some new subscribers this last month. Hello, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Right, okay then. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a fashion designer, and I took a BA Honours degree at Trent Polytechnic in fashion knitwear. It's Nottingham Trent University now, but in those days, in the olden days, you know, in my day, it was Trent Poly. And when I left in 1982, I went freelance, and I was writing knitting patterns for newsstand magazines and yarn companies. And I did this well into the 90s, and I used to write patterns for Machine Knitting News, Machine Knitting Monthly, Modern Machine Knitting, various other, you know, the odd pattern here and there in craft magazines. And I used to write for yarn companies as well, such as Atkinson's and Bramwell's. Oh God, old age is great, isn't it? Atkinson's and Bramwell's. Now, I've got a few examples to show you here. Now, over the time, I designed many patterns, probably hundreds and thousands, so I've only got a few here that are salvaged. I've got a folder that I've got quite a few, but I've picked out some here just to show you. And I don't know whether you'll be able to see them properly, but this is the type of thing that I used to design. It was all machine knitting, because that was what I was trying to do, but you know, I can hand knit as well. Front page. Used to love getting front pages. You know, you used to dash out and look at the magazine, you know, oh, the magazine's due out this month or this week. Go out to the newsagent, and when you got a front cover, it was like, woo! That's another front cover that I did for Machine Knitting News, which was very, very popular in the 80s and 90s. Machine knitting, home machine knitting, was very, very popular in those days. I mean, it's not so much now. And machine knitting's a machine knitting machine. Oh, Gordon Bennett. Oh, senior moments, aren't they great? Knitting machines are quite expensive these days. Obviously, well, they were quite expensive in those days as well, but you know, by comparison, you know, I don't know who can afford to do it as a hobby these days. But you know, this was the type of thing. I used to have several published every month, really. You know, I was very, very prolific. I won't go on too long here. I've just got a couple more. Another front page. You get the idea. But this is what I used to do in my 20s and 30s, early to mid 30s. And I did this full time, but freelance. Yay! Right then. After that came marriages, kids, divorces, you know, the usual. Oh dear me. Then in the late 90s, when computers were becoming popular and more the norm, I discovered eBay and Yahoo auctions, and I started selling artwork online, which was a really new concept then, and I was really successful. I mean, obviously there weren't many people doing this in those days because it was a new thing. So, you know, I used to do very well, and I made my living solely from, you know, selling art on the internet for quite a number of years. And of course later on, you know, there was sites like Etsy and Folksy, they came along, and I started to use those platforms as well. Now, these days I personally, I can't make anywhere near enough to make a living with my artwork. So a few years ago I started selling vintage jewellery and accessories, and also general vintage on, you know, on the side on Etsy. And sadly, the art is now the on the side bit of my business. You know, it's a shame, but you know, you've got to make money somehow, haven't you? And more recently I've been doing upcycling furniture and general home decor objects, which I've always done, you know, for myself in my own home. I've been thrifting and, you know, buying from charity shops and upcycling and updoing since I was 17, 18 really. So it's something I've always done. So, you know, remaking and updoing comes naturally to me. So that's sort of what I do now with art on the side. I've always been very sort of arty crafty, and I had my first art exhibition at a local library at the age of 14, and I used to sketch, when I was at high school I used to sketch my classmates to make a bit of pocket money. So I used to charge 50p to do a sketch of them, and I was quite entrepreneurial at that time. And I've tried many crafts over the years, absolutely loads. And although, as I say, I don't knit so much these days, I do crochet, I sew, I make all sorts of jewellery, I make cards, I've done glass painting, you know, over the time, also, you know, quilting, you name it, I've done it. And I'm just one of those people that like to be doing stuff, and, you know, I like to make stuff, I like to create really. So that sort of brings me up to currently. Now, seeing as I've not done any art videos recently, I've got a few pieces of artwork to show you. I do tend to go through phases with my artwork of, you know, possibly only doing watercolours for a while, and then I do acrylic abstracts for a while, and then I do, you know, figurative work. I am mainly known for figurative work, but to be honest, I've been doing it so long, I've been sort of veering more towards the abstract over these last few years. And I've got a few artworks here just to show you. I won't go on with this, but these just illustrate how I've been concentrating more recently on rich colour and putting texture into the artwork, because I love texture. I love the beauty in decay and you know, rust and that type of look. So I'm going to be incorporating more of that into my artwork, I think, in the future. So here I'll just show you what, you know, what I'm about at the moment with a few artworks. And I don't know how much you're going to be able to see here, but this one has got all this gorgeous sort of crackle on the surface, and in quite rich colours. You'll notice that a lot of these are very sort of, you know, dual colours really. So, you know, that's what I'm into at the moment. This is one that I worked on this week. Now the thing is, this one, I've had it for a while, and my husband said to me, that to me is unfinished. And he pointed out one or two things about the artwork, and he was right. I've gone back in and I've added more of the leaves. I've put a collage element on, and I've put copper, metallic copper on the surface, and put some more marks and everything. And he's right, it's much better now. So again, that's got slight texture in the middle there, and that's acrylic and oil pastel. Now I absolutely adore this artwork, even though I shouldn't say that myself. But I love the colours and I love the texture. Look at that! That is so textural. and I actually made this texture with I think it was sand and some filler and PVA. So that wasn't shop bought art, you know, texture medium. I actually made that myself, and I love it. I just love the way it's turned out. And I'll just try and get a little bit. You can just see the lovely colour nuance and the texture all over the surface, and the colour. I just love it. Now that's that one. And again, similar in nature, this one, which has got really rich colour again and texture. Now this texture I've actually done with screwed up tissue paper. So I've stuck that to the surface and just gone over it, and you can see how gorgeous it looks. And again, lovely rich jewel tones. There we go. Oh, it matches my shirt a little bit. Hey. Right, well that's about it. I hope I've given you a bit more of an insight into who I am and what I'm about. And I hope this video's turned out alright, because I'm actually doing it on the camera today. I'm not on the phone because I've got a really rubbish phone that always says it's full, even though it's hardly got any apps on. So I can't actually see myself, so I can't, you know, I'm looking into the lens and I'm not looking at the actual screen of the video. So I don't know if I'm in the shot or what. But thank you for watching. And again, thank you to the new subscribers. And please, 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 if you're only just watching this, I'd love a few more subscribers. I am going to put some art videos on in the future, so if you're interested in that, just you know, pop a subscribe on, and then it hopefully may come up in your feed. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.